Right, good to see you again.
Thanks, John. Good to see you.
Yeah. So how have you been?
Aye, I've been not bad. Not bad. Aye.
And how are you today?
I mean, how am I feeling? I don't feel as bad as I have done in the past. Being in these kind of settings, I think it's with the way we went on last time.
Yeah.
It's quite reassuring that I'm not going to get the same treatment as I have done in the past.
Okay. So what did we agree if you feel that stress, anger kind of building up?
Last time we agreed that if I start to get a wee bit angry or feel like it's getting too much, was just to say, so I can have some time out and have a wee breather.
That's an example of where your emotions are connected to your actions, and you've learned that over time. So just take a bit of time to unlearn it.
Okay.
So I'll keep checking in with you every time that we meet. And the other thing that you were going to do from last week?
We discussed that I was going to contact my mum, which I have done.
Okay.
Which it went okay, but she was a lot more firmer than she has been with me in the past, which is good. And she said it's a last chance soon, so that's hopeful.
Okay.
And
So a chance is a chance.
Aye.
So we've made some progress.
Aye.
And maybe as the order goes on, she'll be able to see the change.
Hopefully.
We're making a plan today, and what I think is important to having a plan is be able to evidence that things are changing. To be able to say, look, Mum, I've changed. This is where I was, and this is where I am now.
I'd love to be able to do that.
And I hope she's going to hear from you the way that you describe your life is going to be using much more positive terms as well.
Yeah.
So that language, that message that you give, the story you tell yourself, I hope that's going to change.
Hopefully.
Okay. I said I was going to fill in my assessment tool, and there'll be no surprises that the risk factors I came up with are alcohol. Alcohol, you said it yourself, it's there, and every time you offend, alcohol's a factor. Your friends.
Yeah.
Your friends are a big factor. I've also written that your education and your employment history are factors. You've got a lot of time on your hands, you're really not doing anything, and I think we need to work on that. But the other thing that the assessment tool was telling me is, and we discussed this too, you've got a big problem with authority.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's something we need to work on. I also noted that accommodation was a clear issue, not so much as a risk of you reoffending, but if you lose it, then things will get a lot worse for you.
Aye, absolutely.
Because you'll have nowhere to go apart from back to your friends.
Yeah.
What else did you pick up on? Was there anything other kind of risk factors that I'm not picking up?
Risk factors. That's stuff that will influence me to.
Yes, that's a bit of jargon on my part. Things that happen or things that you do that make it more likely that you're going to reoffend.
It's always when I'm in a rut, really, and when I'm feeling low and down, I always seem to go back to my friends because they're the ones that know me, and then when I meet my friends, alcohol is a risk factor, and we seem to fall into the old trap that we always do, and then it's back to square one again.
Okay. I got a real sense last time that whatever you do, your friends are going to be there for you.
Aye,
regardless. Everyone else is a little bit conditional. They want the good Jamie, but they
No,
don't want the one that's going to smash them.
Which I get that. I get that.
Okay. The one thing that's always in the background is your thinking about that justifies your offending. Last week we looked at, you gave an account at the end about the night in question, and your friends were there, drink was there, but my friends maybe can get a bit wild, I can take a bit too much to drink, but I don't think about squeezing through somebody's window and stealing their things. So there's something in you that gives yourself permission to do that, and that's a key thing, that kind of attitude that it's okay to do this.
I think as well, it's things that I've always done, and I do get pleasure from being stupid. It's later on that I think, you know, when the drink's no there, that you know, I wish I never done that.
Yeah, what have I done?
Aye.
That gives us something to work with. There's a bit of motivation for change there. So the other things we identified was that things were not all bad. You were talking about school. You talked about a teacher your guidance teacher, who had a lot of confidence in you, who saw you kind of quite differently.
Aye, and that's the kind of person that, you know, my guidance teacher was telling me years ago that I can achieve things in life and I've always got a choice. That voice is still at the back of my head. I just wish the voice was there when I was actually about to commit a crime. Yes. Well, I think drink and excitement and friends takes over, doesn't it? So maybe the work that we need to do is before you start drinking, before you get in touch with your friends, maybe that's the best insurance policy. You've also got, and you were hearing tonight, we've been hearing this morning about your mum. She's back on board. Yeah.
What about your dad? Was he in when you went round?
He was in, but very quickly left the house. My mum just tried to reassure me that, you know, take one day at a time, and my dad will come round eventually. She did say that once he starts to see changes, he may have a different opinion.
Okay. Do you take that as a positive?
Aye, because my mum's never said that before.
Okay.
And there's never been like scope for my dad to actually have an input in my life, so that's quite reassuring as well.
Okay, so he's still interested then,
Aye.
despite his bluster.
Aye.
Yeah.
Well, my mum did say, you know, your dad loves you, he just finds it hard to show you it.
Okay.
So that's
Scottish men for you, I suppose, as well. And you have your neighbour.
Yes.
You have your neighbour. I when I went away, I kind of quite liked her because you're describing late nights, no carpets, but she still kind of likes you.
I know, and she has such a nice person. And if I ever needed anything, you know, she's told me just to pop round. Again, I don't want to take advantage of her good nature. But certainly, if things do pan out the way I want it to, I would like to, you know, develop that relationship a wee bit further.
Okay, so that means staying where you are in the flat.
Aye.
Maybe getting it sorted out so that you can enjoy living there.
Aye, I think that'd be good. I mean, I'd like to have my kids over as well at some point. I mean, I know right now it's supervised and you know that's probably what's best for the kids, but I'd like to have my home comfortable and you know, livable.
Yeah. It's a nice vision, that, isn't it, in the future of you with your children in the flat.
Aye, I'd love that.
Yeah. That's a long-term project, and we'll make a short-term plan today, but we'll also kind of sketch things out for the longer term so you can reach a bit further forward. I like the idea that you be able to see yourself as an active father. You'll be able to see yourself as a caring son. You like the idea of these two things, but you're not actually
just
able
getting
to
to that point.
Do you think you can do it?
Well, I think based on my past experiences, a lot of people would say no, but I feel like I'm at the stage of my life that I want to.
Okay.
I want to make people proud. I want to be different. I don't want to be doing the same old, you know, because it's not working.
Okay. But you're worried about your motivation going, getting a bit depressed.
Aye. It's always when I'm feeling down or the drink's involved. Well, usually when the drink's involved, I'm down, and it's a vicious circle. You know, going back to square one. And you're right, it's just getting the motivation to change or motivation to do something different.
What does alcohol do to our system as a matter of interest? Does it stimulate us? Or does it depress us?
Probably a bit of both. I think initially I've got that stimulation, you know, I've got that high. But then it's the more I drink, the more I become depressed. And again, it's back to square one when I'm feeling down and low, I'm committing these crimes.
Okay. It might be worth actually finding out a bit about alcohol.
Right.
Because you spend a lot of your time with it.
Yes.
But you're not really convincing me that you actually know what it is.
Not a great deal. You know, I know people have told me it's poison and you know it's no good for you, but you've been doing it for such a long age. You know, that becomes your norm.
Yes. But with these shakes, it is poisoning you. And with this probation order and everything else, it's not good for you either.
I mean, I feel like I can manage the alcohol because when I've got the shakes, you know, I'll have some alcohol to take away the shakes.
Okay. What causes the shakes?
Needing a drink.
Okay. So what is alcohol doing that's causing the shakes? And then healing the shakes?
It's poisoning my body.
Okay.
That's obvious. And it's my body's telling me that I need that substance to feel normal.
Okay. And the other strengths, and I think we need to keep a focus on these, are your children.
Aye.
Are your children.
Aye.
A real motivation for you.
I don't want my children to grow up thinking that I didn't care or I wasn't there for them, because I want to be there for them, and I understand why folk don't want me to be the kids when I'm drunk or when I've been committing crimes, because the kids need a positive role model, and that's what I want to be. I want to be a positive person for my kids, somebody that they can rely on and be proud of, and somebody they can look up to.
Because one of the things that Lee said was he described your friends as bad men, and I was wondering after last week whether maybe some of your friends' children describe you as a bad man from that point of view.
Oh, without a doubt they do.
So you're one of the gang.
Aye.
Okay. I think we've got something to work on. In fact, I think we've got plenty to work on. The other thing that you said you'd quite like to do would be maybe to have some contact with the folks' house that you broke into.
Aye. I kind of put myself in their shoes just for a second last time, and it was just, if that was me and somebody broke into my home and stole my things and damaged my kids' property, I'd be really distraught by that. And I think this is part of the healing process for me, is if I actually get forgiveness for these people.
Okay.
I don't know how to go about that.
Okay.
But I feel like that's needed. Whether they accept it or not, it's a different story.
Yeah. I think we'd have to work out whether that would be a productive process for them as well as for you, because it needs to be a win-win, and because I just worry that it could go very badly wrong if you're not ready for it and they're not ready for it. So I would say that's a really good suggestion you've had. Let's park it down the road. We've got two years to work on this. 2 years to work on this, and I like the idea of finding some peace with them and them with you. So alcohol, friends, working situation, and some of the behaviour that goes with that, learning to handle conflict, difficulties, your accommodation.
Yeah.
Strengths are your family, particularly your mum, but it was really encouraging to hear your dad's still there for you in the background. What about your sister?
I think when she's one of these people that when she sees it, she'll believe it.
Okay.
And I get that I've said these things before, and she calls them buzzwords to make it that I'm great and I'm better, but in reality she knows that I'm no. So I think she's like my dad. I think it's going to take a wee bit of time
Okay.
to get around to her, but again there's hope there.
Right. We've got the children. I haven't mentioned Ashley because I don't want to build Ashley into this, because at the moment it's over between you and Ashley, and I don't want to be part of you thinking that you can start again with Ashley, because she's maybe moved on in her life and there was some domestic abuse really between you, and she maybe wanted to stay away from that and is happy with the way things are just now. But maybe in 2 or 3 months, if things are going well, I can maybe come and meet everybody.
That'd be good. That'd be good, because then you're getting a flavour for what it's been like for Ashley, my mum, my dad, if you'll speak to you. Because it's alright me sitting here and telling you my experience, but then they've had a different experience altogether.
Yeah. In our plan today, we're going to build some supports in for you to support you to change. I'm hearing that your family are not quite ready to be included in that, so maybe we'll work towards that. If they see some steps, if they see that things are changing, it sounds like they'll jump on board. And so maybe the next time we meet, we'll be ready to say, shall we involve them now?
I hope so.
Because it's going to be difficult, because alcohol is such a big thing for you, and your friends are such a big thing. And you need to be ready to move away from that, and to move away from that, we need to put something else in its place.
Aye, I get that, aye.
Okay. So, alcohol, friends, education, employment, your accommodation too. What do we do? How do we help you to move on further down the road?
I think in a nutshell, the ideal situation would be for me to get a job. And I think first to occupy my time with working, bringing in some money. I don't think that I would rely on alcohol as much. And if I'm out working, I'm not going to see my friends as much. And then in turn, I can actually do my house up the way I want it. Have somewhere that's safe and somewhere that I can call home.
Is that something you can do next week, or is that something we would have to work towards?
For being honest, I don't know how to go about getting a job, because as soon as you go in and ask about your criminal record, I feel like it's downhill for there. They're not interested, and I understand that. They don't want to employ people that's got a history of breaking into houses and stealing cars.
Do you know that there comes a time when you can actually deny that you have any offences?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, that depends on what the offences are, but you can deny it, and if an employer looks up the newspapers and sees that you've been in court and sacks you, then you can take them to court. There comes a time when these things move into the past, but that's something we need to find out about for you. Okay, so that's something to work towards, and that would be a real evidence for your family that things are changing.
I struggle. It's maybe linked in with the motivation aspect of it, but I struggle with the confidence to fill out application forms. I struggle a bit with that, and I wouldn't know where to start an interview. Because it's not like years ago you could just walk into a job. They ask you all these questions about your past, about your education, which I've not got. My work history, which is not very good. So I think I need something to help me with that.
So an employer is going to be like the parents. They're going to need evidence. It's a small town.
That's why.
So they're going to need evidence too. Okay, so a job. What about if we change a job to something to do with your time? So you're too busy. You're maybe not working, but you're too busy for hanging about doing nothing.
That's what I need. That's what I need. I need something just to occupy my time, my thinking, so there's no time or room for friends who are going to get back to the way things used to be on alcohol.
So what's your idea for that?
In an ideal world, it'd be great to have something either like a back shift or a night shift kind of job, because that's the time where I struggle the most.
You're very experienced at working at night, of course.
Aye. In a different manner.
Definitely a different job. Okay. So something to take up your time, and that will move you away from your friends. And someone, if you really care about that activity, you're not going to be drunk when you arrive.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a couple of suggestions for that. One thing that we are going to involve you in is one of our group work programs.
What does that involve?
Well, that involves, I mentioned it to you last time, it involves linking in with other people who are in the same position as you. And this office runs some group work programs. And the group work programs are designed to help you to think differently. You've learned over the years to think your way into trouble. What we're wanting to do in these programs is get you to be able to see in advance when trouble's coming, when you're walking towards it. So it'll do a bit about how you think about things and your emotions. An example, you get upset in an interview, emotion rises, that results in behaviour, and then there's a lot of justification for that behaviour. It was their fault, and then I've let myself down again. These group work programs are actually designed to teach you strategies and to help you put these strategies in place, and they've been shown to be quite effective.
And this is with other similar minded people with similar experiences.
You learn to challenge that behaviour because you see it in other people,
Right.
and you begin to see it more clearly in yourself. And that would, I think, help you to manage situations where there's bits of conflict in a relationship with an employer.
Do you know, I think that would actually work for me. And that would be catered around about people who have had similar experiences. So the fear for me being judged is minimised.
Okay, because nobody's in a position to judge.
Aye.
Yeah,
Aye.
yeah, I like that. I'm thinking about your brother. He's out there somewhere, and you've got this difficult relationship. And the trouble is, if you're doing well and you're getting your mum and dad's attention and your sister's attention, then he knows the buttons to press to wind you up, to say he's not really changed. So the group work will work on all that for you.
Right.
So that'll probably be once, maybe twice a week for maybe 3 months, maybe more. So that'll be quite committing.
Well, I'm up for that. That sounds something that's going to help me.
Okay. And once you commit to that, now, Jamie, you're in, and you have to attend.
Okay.
So it's something, and the groups are at different times in the day, so you're going to have to adjust your whole nighttime routine so that you can be available during the day and sober.
I think it's a start. And if anything, it's proof to yourselves that I can actually do this if I do commit.
Okay. That's got the proof bit that's important, isn't it? Mum and Dad, I've been going to this group and I haven't missed a group. Or I've managed to go to most of them and you didn't think I'd go to many at all.
You probably think I'm not going to any.
Okay, so that's a nice proof thing, isn't it? And we could support that by giving you a letter to say you've attended all the groups.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
The other thing I'm thinking about is you don't have many interests really apart from Xbox and your dog. You've got your dog as well. We have some befrienders. These are people who work alongside the service, they're volunteers, and they have different interests. They have interest in sport, they have interest in culture, film, things like that, or they have interest in teaching a skill.
Right.
And they work alongside our service users, people like yourself, to get you out there and doing things that take you away. So depending on what your interests are or what interests you want to develop, they would work alongside you to help you to do that.
Right. Well, I think thinking healthy as well, that's going to help me. But again, it's the confidence to do something. Like I want to go to a gym. I want to be able to, for example, go into a pub and just have a soft drink, but it's the confidence to do these kind of things, because alcohol's always the factor that gets me through. Just when you said befriender there, I just thought it was some kind of buddy, but...
Well, I suppose it is. Most of us, when we're in difficulty, we go to our friends. But you've really cut off. You weren't able to identify any friends that you have that really help you on this journey. So if we could find out one of our befrienders, and this is very common, what you're experiencing, one of our befrienders could work alongside you, meet you up. They would never be a friend in the proper sense, but they might lead you into connections where you make friends for yourself.
Do I like that? I think that needs to be taken in bite sizes though, for me, just so I can build up a relationship with somebody and get to know them.
Of course.
I'll give that a go.
You'll give that a go. What kind of things would you like to do?
Well, I'd like to go to the gym, get a bit healthier. I've not been to the cinema for years.
Okay.
So, and my friends who have got, that's not their cup of tea. They don't like to go to cinemas and stuff because they're too busy breaking into houses. So I like to do normal things that I know you said it's not my friend, and I appreciate that, but I want to be able to do normal things and feel better about it.
Okay. One thing a befriender could do is help you with your flat. Get your flat sorted out.
Really? That would be great. That a dream come true, just to have
Okay.
somewhere that's
Mhm.
stable. And it's nowhere to start actually in the flat.
Mhm. And if it could be the same person, that means that you've just got one person life isn't too
I prefer
complicated.
that.
Life isn't too complicated. So it would definitely be a man because of your in your background, the aggression that appears from time to
Domestic
time,
violence,
domestic
aye.
abuse. It would definitely be a man. So I'll arrange that, but I like the idea that through this you're going to make your own contacts, you're going to make your own friends, and that you're going to be moving away from your other friends.
Aye. Can all be positive.
Okay. I'll introduce you to the befriender when we get that set up, but that's all that they will know about you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a blank canvas, obviously.
So it is, yeah. So what's said in that room will be what they know about you.
Right. Well, that in itself is quite reassuring because then I'm able to tell them exactly what's happened in my own way.
Mm-hmm.
Be honest and not upfront about it, but that'll be good.
Okay. And do you think your neighbour might be interested in helping you with your flat?
Oh, aye. I mean, she said loads of times, she says she's got stuff there she's wanting to give me for my flat, but I don't want to take it just now because I've nowhere to put it. I don't know where to put it. She's got a sofa that she's wanting to get rid of, so she's...
I think she'd like to have some carpets as well.
Carpets, that's aye. It's getting the money for that though.
Yeah. Well, it's something that we can't help you with, but we can look in and see if there's any, because we're linked in with some other organisations that do furnishings and things like that. So maybe we can hook in with them. Now, alcohol. One of the things you said was that you'd like to think you could go into a pub and have a soft drink and that'd be okay. You're still wanting to be amongst drinking pubs and things like that. What do we do about alcohol?
I don't know what you mean, because I don't see alcohol as a massive problem. I think it's linked to my friends and the behaviours that we've taken part of, but I don't think it's, I don't think it's bad. A lot of people drink, so they do.
Okay. One of the things that you're really important to is your relationship with your mum, your relationship with the children.
Yeah.
Do you think either of these relationships are compatible with you continuing to drink?
No, that's a big no.
Okay.
And the kids' mums said that very clearly, that when I go to see my kids at my mum's house, there's no alcohol involved, and if there is alcohol involved, contact gets stopped. And my mum's the same way.
What you're wanting to do is show to your mum and show everyone that your things are changing for you, and we're looking for some evidence to show her. Would not drinking be some evidence?
Aye, actually, aye. I would actually.
What would that look like?
A sober Jamie, a clean cut Jamie, a responsible Jamie.
Okay. Healthier Jamie.
Absolutely.
So she'd be able to look at you and see
the physical
that
change.
Things are different.
Aye.
I think that's a major challenge. Alcohol's a major challenge because you've got this shaking and you're not quite clear what's causing that, but you know how to solve it, which is more drink. You're spending a lot of time with. You have spent a lot of time with alcohol over the years. It's been very important to you. I'm wondering if the first step for you might be to go to an agency that works with us, that know about alcohol and the effects of alcohol, so you can find out who you're dealing with, who this alcohol is that you're dealing with.
Aye, I mean that was suggested last time I dealt with social workers, But it got my back up because I felt like they were just getting on to me. So that wasn't an option back then. But I think now that I've identified the things that I want to achieve and how I want to change, I don't think it would do any harm speaking to somebody.
Okay, that's very positive. That's very positive. And when you go for that appointment, that's one thing that's clear evidence to your mum that you're engaging. Now your dad might say, "Oh well, we've been here before," but you've taken a first step on a journey.
Aye.
Okay, so let's find out about alcohol. I'm not sure about the shakes, and I'm a little bit worried that if we're not careful and you suddenly stop, that will cause you some kind of problems. So your probation officer is saying to you today, until you get that appointment, don't stop completely drinking. So your probation officer is advising you to keep drinking, but just a little bit, because it might be quite dangerous because you've. I think you've been drinking very high doses.
Yeah.
So you've got a serious problem with alcohol, and we need to find a serious solution for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Let me try and read this plan back to you, and then I'll draw it up and we'll get it sorted out. For your education and employment, we need to, in the medium term, work towards you getting a job. So there's things you need to find out, which is about employment, criminal convictions, etc. So you got a job tomorrow, there's a danger that unless these feelings inside you, this volcano you've got inside you, if that's not rebuilt, then there's a danger that your mum will be able to say, well, he's messed up another job, he's messed up another chance. So I think the thing in between there is to come along to our group work programme. And that will mean you changing your routine, going to bed at night, getting up in the morning, and then coming along to group. And the group is there to help you manage these feelings that you've got. And another aspect of the group is working on employment, finding out what the law says about criminal convictions, looking at how you apply for work and present yourself at interviews. Okay? So I'll refer you to the group work programme. I'll also make contact with our befriender service and see if we can get someone to link in with you. Purpose, what they're going to do with you is to find something that interests you both. If it can be helping with the flat, that's good. If it can be getting you a bit fitter or getting a bit of culture, that's also good. But that's a medium term thing. We want you to go and have your own friends who look after you, who care for you, who encourage you, who'll enjoy your company. We're going to, you're going to have a chat with your neighbour. Maybe tell your neighbour, have the same conversation with your neighbour that you had with your mum, and ask her if she can just give you a bit of help with the flat.
Aye, that's something I feel I can do. Aye.
And alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm going to refer you to the agency that works with us so you can find out about alcohol and you can make some choices about that.
It seems a lot, but it's a step in the right direction.
Well, it is. It seems like a lot. The alcohol is going to be a lot, but when things improve for you, what's that going to look like to people who see you? You're going to look healthier. You're going to feel healthier. You're going to be more positive. You're going to behave differently. The befriender is going to come along. Your mother and everyone else will see that you're spending less time with your friends. And the group work programme, that will get you into routine and you'll be learning things and people will see that you're learning things and that things are changing. Help you manage conflict. You'll speak to your neighbour and your neighbour will see change and she sounds like she'll encourage you. And our befriender will be the vehicle for that, but that's short term. You'll move on to your own friends.
Hopefully by that point I'm able to make better connections with people, more better choices as well.
I see further down the road is when things begin to look different and over time they're different, then I think, as you said yourself, things with the family will sort themselves out.
Aye. That's my ultimate goal, you know, is to get better and actually have my children staying over in my own house. It's, you know, clean, safe, having a better relationship with my mum, and even just a kind of relationship with the kid's mum, even on a friendship basis.
Okay.
Aye.
Yeah. It sounds good. You're seeing a future now, and last week you were struggling to see a future.
Aye.
How would you like to describe yourself in a couple of years' time, at the end of this order?
Oh, I'd like to be someone who was reliable, committed to work, committed to my children and my family, and someone that didn't have to rely on people like the friends that I've got, and rely on alcohol. Because the more I think about it, the shakes is that's no good. A lot of things that I need to change, but I feel through speaking to yourself and the different options you've got, it's manageable, it's achievable.
Okay. I would ask you that whatever happens, however rough the road is ahead, that you keep that vision of yourself in mind. You never lose sight of that, because you've got a serious alcohol problem. You've got friends who are going to create all sorts of problems if you move away from them. All sorts of problems. So the pool is always going to be back. Your brother wants you to fail, I guess. People want you to succeed. You're going to get excited. You're going to get feeling that things are moving on. You're going to get caught between your old friends and your new friends. It's psychologically, Jamie, it's a very, very difficult place. So you must maintain your vision.
Yeah.
You must maintain that vision. Your befriender will be there for you as long as you maintain that relationship. It's natural when we're changing for things to go bad from time to time.
Aye.
So remember that too. But we need the forward direction. We need all this proof that you're gathering up that things are changing. What help do you want from me?
Sorry, say that again?
What help do you want from me?
Well, I feel like you actually tell me the different options that I've got and trying to build up my confidence. I think that's the help that I need from you, but I feel that no wagging your finger at me, no judging me for my past, and believing that I can change. I think that's what I need from you.
Okay, right. Well, I do have confidence that you can change. We have these two difficult areas, alcohol and your friends, and I suppose how you deal with the frustration of things not moving quickly enough. My job is to monitor the order, and I will be there for you. But if you're not complying, I have this other role, which is to inform the court and take necessary action in that sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get that. Right.
There's one thing just as we close, which I would like just to I've got a suspicion because things went wrong for you at school. I wonder if you could read a bit of this book to me.
If I'm being honest, I can't pronounce some of these words. The writing's jumping about.
Okay.
I don't know where to start.
You got some of the feelings now that you had at school?
Absolutely. This is a vote.
Okay.
Bad feelings from school.
Okay. Yeah. You strike me as someone who's quite intelligent.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I think you are, but you struggled with that and you struggled in school.
Aye, that's, by you just doing that, I mean, I'm not going to get angry just now, but that reminded me of a time when I was in English and I had to read out in front of the class, and I became quite threatened and it was challenging.
That's what you said last week, and that's why I was wondering, this is an intelligent person who's really struggling with reading, perhaps. Okay. We know when we're doing the group work how to work with you, but maybe we'll park that issue. I wonder if there's a little problem that you've got with words.
Well, Mum used to always say years ago she thought I was dyslexic. My dad said I was lazy, I didn't know what to learn, so I've kind of taken what my dad said as I'm a lazy learner rather than what my mum said, so I think it could be a bit of both. Really.
Well, we can get that tested out. It'd be quite nice to know that after all these years a lot of this really isn't your fault and you were maybe doing the best you can. Okay, I'm going to write the report up.
Okay.
The plan up. We're going to sign it off next week and then we'll get going. I'll be phoning all these people and sorting lots of things out for you. So, start getting yourself into bed at a better time. Okay?
Aye.
Right,
Brilliant.
Jamie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.